right. I am so excited for this conversation. I am so honored to be joined by Tammy Machmali. So thank you so much for being here.
I am honored to be here, Kelly. I love you, and I'm so excited to be on this platform. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm just so grateful for you. And I just can't wait to dive into what we're going to talk about today because it is something that deeply impacts me and impacts everybody. Every human being is dealing with something emotional that they maybe can't release or haven't even begun to be aware of, but they're holding this baggage and holding on to emotions that maybe are holding them back from really living their desirable life. And so, what I want to dive into first is what brought you to where you are today and helping the people that you're helping. If you could just give some backstory of what drove you towards this.
Great question. I'm gonna start by just giving you a little bit of my history. I was born in Iran, and when I was very young, there was the Iranian Revolution, and my parents moved to Israel. So I'm multicultural. One of my first memories was that we learned not to say the truth, and we actually had to hide our identity and our religion just to survive. So from the early age, I learned that I need to keep things as secrets, and this is the only way to live. Is just so I was hiding my real identity most of my childhood, and later when I grew up and we moved to Israel, my parents looked like their accent was different, they looked different, so I felt guilt and shame from very early age that I didn't know how to release or what do you do with these emotions because I also felt like I want to help. I want to be the girl that didn't cause any problems. So I often learn not to say my truth, not to show who I am. So from very early age, there were a lot of ups and downs in my family that there was no one to talk about. Our family believed you just go, just move, you just hustle, you work hard. Uh, as immigrants, that my parents moved from very, they were affluent, they were rich, and then they moved to Israel and they have to start in their 50s from zero. My mom was in her 30s, my dad was in his 50s, from zero with four kids coming along with them, with no one actually to support. So I learned how to, I had to learn how to navigate life by myself, try not to cause any problems. And as a result, I had a lot of emotions that were unprocessed. I was born during a war. I went through I started, the Iranian war started when I was 5. We moved to Israel, and in Israel, they had their own conflict. So I felt often that there is a war in my body
Mhm.
as as a 16 years old. I already went to seek therapist because back then therapy was the big thing, and I thought that this is the only way I can heal myself. Let me find ways to heal myself. I remember at age 14 they opened the first public library in Israel, and I was there every day, just drinking the books, trying to find out how you can heal yourself, how. And it's interesting for me that even as a 16 years old, I was already wired in a way. Let me see how I can heal myself, how I can improve myself, going through diets, going through trying to control and manage everything as if it's in my power. And then started going to therapy. After a few years, I was like, okay, what's going on? And I started asking questions. I was start asking, is it a way to erase the emotions so I can feel the release because these emotions are coming with me? And the answer was often, we will talk about that. We have pills if you want. There is medication. You can take medication. And see you next time. And it was a pattern that was going on and on and on. And I realized that medication will not help me. I tried a few years of medication to release my anxiety. I had a lot of anxiety because shoving all these emotions to our mind. They are in our subconscious mind. They're running our subconscious mind. And every time we repeat the story, we live them, we feel them. So from a very young age, I started painting. I started drawing, coloring. I remember my dad's first gift was coloring book, and I enjoy touching those color pens and started painting with them and pretending that I am showing them in art galleries. I don't know even where the idea came from. Of course, I'm coming from generation of grandma and mom that were very artistic, but no one painted. I was the first one to start that. And I really believe that creativity was the thing that helped me to navigate through life, helped me to heal, because all these hours that I don't understand even how I did that, painting and creating, helped me to heal myself, not to go through drugs, not to go through alcohol. I did use food for years to cope the pain, but I know that I could go do even worse if it wasn't because I had the art as an outlet to release my emotion. When I had no words, I used art. That was the way it helped me to go through the healing. And throughout the years, I prayed to God to become the intelligence that helps me to heal myself and help other people. And those prayers came true. One guide after another hold my hand and brought me through NLP. Of course, in the beginning, I tried everything. I went to school because I was addicted to studying. I got my I have my graphic design license. I got degree in fine art and humanitarian art. Non-stop schooling. I have a design fashion degree. I was an esthetician for years because I was looking for solution, going from one degree to another. And my walls today could be filled with them, but I realized less is more. And I really truly believe in uncluttering, and clearing your, as I learned to clear my baggage, it's also mean the physical, your rooms, not only the inside. It's also your mind, your intentions, your words, your heart, your actions. When they are congruent, we are aligned with our higher self, and then we can do what we need to do. So basically, after years of therapy, going back to your question, Kelly, sorry if I diverted, but I wanted to tell you the whole colorful story so you get to know me a little bit more. I started after going to therapy and I realized that it's not working. I also few years because of my I had this food addiction. I had to go to a program to clear the food addiction. So I am not covering my emotions by eating. And when this was released, I was able to go and I opened a business as an artist. I was selling art, beautiful gifts for the holidays, beautiful symbolic art I was making. I was actually teaching art for years. And through that, people asked me to do meditation, mindfulness. And this led to me going and taking classes in NLP. And then the NLP led to become master practitioner. And then that led to hypnotherapy and learning how to do the mental and emotional release. This led to me teaching people how to clear their baggage. So I learned how to go to the process of letting go of mental and emotional baggage, something that it's clinically research approved and designed to release stress, anxiety, all these fears. And I myself had to overcome depression and understand the root cause of my emotions. And after I cleared my own baggage, I was able actually to come out and help other people to do it. And when I started and I cleared my baggage, I remember the first thing even after I drove back home, I started driving so fast, something that for years I didn't do because I went through two scary car accidents. One was a bike accident. I didn't have the brakes and I just flew on my face. The first one was a car accident that someone hit my car and I just drove into a wall and I lost balance. I had a head concussion, and through learning and prayer, after 6 months, my memory came back. So I knew that the process of healing somehow, but after I cleared the baggage, I could drive so fast through the freeway, like my PTSD was removed. And when I witnessed those miracles, I started treating my friends, the ones who I wanted to guide them to see how it's working. So I dive into the cases that I thought no one can help them. And I was like, let's try. Maybe it's going to ease the pain. So I started helping people that were going through cancer. In the process, some of them were third stage, some of them were fourth stage, and the one with the fourth stage, she became a very good friend of mine, and right now the cancer just stopped. The friend that was going through third stage cancer, was rectal, it disappeared after, and it was mind blowing to see how what we talked about, what the after we cleared the baggage. So we're gonna talk about it, but after we cleared the baggage, we actually set new values, new visions, new goals for what we want. And she called me. I remember a few months later, it was Wednesday night. I was in another event, and she called and she said, "You're not gonna believe it. Whatever we talked about happened. The doctor showed me my CAT scan, and it's clear for me."
Wow.
And it was so exciting. So every time now I get this news, I feel like I got a huge gift, and the gift is someone else living a full life, someone else is healing, someone else that was about to commit suicide. It's living a full life and they want to build a business, they want to get married. Nothing makes me more happy when I see that whatever we go through, it's most often a gift because we learn from it. And later on, we can help someone else heal themselves. So it's really exciting for me to see how it's manifesting. So
Oh my
I
gosh.
hope I answered your question.
Yeah.
It was a long answer, but
Oh no, I love it. And it's just so profound to see that evolution of where you were and trying to figure out how to process those emotions and then going to a point where you can release them to actually start living your life. And I think that's what so many people want is like you feel anchored down by things that maybe have happened in your past and maybe didn't know how to process them. And I know a lot of people, it's can be challenging to first understand your emotions, but second, know what to do with them. And many of us are not even taught how to do that or how to navigate that. And can you talk about when we talk about like releasing emotions, releasing that baggage, what does that look like when someone's releasing the baggage from themselves?
so I am going to explain. So what is a baggage? It's very important to understand what is the baggage is. When we say we release baggage, it's basically we releasing all the negative emotions that manifest as trauma. Something happened to you. It can be very, very small, like abandonment.
Mhm.
Someone left you when you were young, or you went through a breakup, or you felt unwanted. This can be stored in your subconscious mind as abandonment. And every time you're going to go through a similar experience, it might be even a look that someone gave you, someone said something, and you're going to feel unwanted, unloved, that you don't matter, that you are not seen, that no one is listening to you. You're going to go and rehearse the trauma in your subconscious mind again and again and again. And it can be anything else. It can be unresolved issues from your past. That cause you to destructive patterns, and anything that you went through that you didn't process can cause you to have emotional baggage. And you can see your emotional baggage as depression, as procrastination, um, people pleasing, accepting unacceptable behavior, being with toxic relationship and not knowing how to say no, even being codependent is a as a result. A lot of my clients are codependent, and I have to go sometimes through teaching them unlearning to be codependent and being dependent, because they thinking that they're gonna die if they say no, or people are gonna leave. Again, going back to the abandonment issue. People that go through anxiety, a lot of that stem from um, the emotional baggage. PTSD is emotional baggage, so when you go through the process of releasing mental and emotional baggage, we're talking about the history to see what is your, because each person is unique. They have a unique story. No two people have the same story. That's why a lot of time when I talk to the people that I help, I don't like to call them clients because they become my people after a while. I adore them. I get to love them. I get to nurture them. And it's very special to me. So when they come and after a while, we talk about shortly about the story, because they're gonna forget that. They're gonna only remember the lesson by the time we are ending it. So it's very easy and effortless process, believing that at the end 100% they're going to forget the emotional charge of the issues, and the only thing they're going to remember, it's the lesson, why it's happened, because everything we go through has a lesson. There is a learning. That's why it's a gift, because the lesson is profound. You see yourself empowered. You see yourself as your higher self, as the magnificent human being that you were at the time. How amazing you are, how beautiful you are to be able to go through it and to get to where you are today.
Mhm.
So it's a very exciting process for me. A lot of time my husband asks me, how can you do it? These stories, sometimes I tell him the stories. Of course, it's very private, it's anonymous. No, we never talk about the person. Um, I sign them on a contract that if they know that they are safe, they're protected. It's only between us. It's a holy work between me, them, and their higher power that actually comes and guide us to heal themselves. It's a process that helps them to learn how to heal themselves. I'm only the guide, holding this beautiful space for them so they can through that and learn tools, learn new habits from the identity level to change. Because a lot of time they come, most of the people that come to me, they are people that already tried everything. They read the self-help book, they took the course class, all the courses, they went to all these therapies, they know, they already in the mindfulness arena, or whatever it is called. Now there are so many names, we talked about it before. So
Mhm.
they come and they're like, but I still have this feeling. I'm still feeling stuck. I'm still overwhelmed, stagnation. I'm procrastinating. I know my potential, but I can't pass. So after we clear the baggage, we take the history, we address it. We dive in through hypnotherapy to the root cause. And the hypnotherapy, there is a misconception, and I'm gonna talk to you about that. You're not gonna fall asleep like in the movies. You are not dead. You are not unconscious. Through calming your body, your mind, we ask your conscious mind to step to the side and bring the unconscious mind that store all these memories, and we go dive in. And this is a very brave process, yet very easy and effortless. And through the guide that helps to dive in, we go to generations ago, lifetimes ago, and we clear it. And it's fascinating, the stories. I have all these beautiful tales that I get to witness through them. They go to 1891. they go to other centuries, they go through the Holocaust, they go through world wars, and they see themselves fully dressed in new homes, in with other kids, with other husbands, and they understand what was the root cause of this problem, and they come back and they're like, wow. And then they don't remember anymore how they felt before. But I write down everything because I want to see how they started and where they are today. And after they finish with that, they are able to go walk through life from the place that they were supposed to be when they were born. But as a result, all these no's, all these resentments, all this trauma, all these, because our family, friends, our surrounding affect our beliefs in ourselves. And this helps us to shape our mindset after you come out from the mental and emotional release work. It's as if you have a new mindset, new belief about yourself. I witnessed them with new mindset. They're so confident all of a sudden. They do not remember how they felt not good enough before. And I asked them, do you remember what we talked about? And it's like, I don't remember. Sometimes I read them the script, they don't remember what they rehearsed to me. And then I get joyous. I get happy to be so happy because sometimes they wanted to commit suicide just a minute before they came to see me. And I say to myself, they get to heal themselves. And throughout the process, I guide them, teach them new tools because this helps to shape them from the identity level so they don't come back again and remember how they were before. And I stay in touch with them. I have people that came to me through, I have like interesting stories. Like if it's okay with you, I will just tell you.
Yeah, I would love to. Yeah, love to hear an example of that, the
Stories was in the
transformation.
beginning of me when I had a new office and I was very excited about the office. So in the beginning, I had this beautiful office with all these therapists. I was the only hypnotherapist, and I got to a call from a woman that got referred to me from a fortune teller in Russia. And I'm not a fortune teller, and I don't know anyone in Russia, but I was fascinated. And I remember looking at my cell phone as if, is it true or not? I was even doubting myself. And I'm like, I think it's a fraud. People making jokes, and it's not funny. She's like, my fortune teller in Russia gave me your number. And she said to bring my boyfriend at the time, now it's the husband, to you because I can't get pregnant. And I thought it's really a woo-woo thing, and I didn't really believe. But I said, you know what? I'm gonna give them a chance. I charge before our sessions to make sure they're committed. I send a contract to make sure they're committed, and then I let them go. And if they're serious, they come back because I believe in energy. I believe people have a free will, and it works only if you are willing to do that. I really believe in that. I don't believe in running after people because it's an energy work, and when the energy is flowing freely, it actually people heal faster, and it's a process that it's beautiful to witness. And when you open, the energy goes, flows, and the healing is there for you. So I got to meet this beautiful couple. They look like movie stars stepping into my office, and they paid. So I knew they're serious. The guy comes to my office, they go through the process beautifully, and then I let them go. Um, Often the people that come to me, I tell them there is a beginning, there is a middle, there is an end, and then we're done. And if you need maintenance, you come back. But I don't believe that people needs to come to you for years because I think after 6 months we don't have anything to say to each other. And
Mhm.
if we have, it's because something new happened. But oftentimes people, life is it's beautiful. We evolving, we changing, and I don't believe in keeping crutches. I think you need to go and become independent, and I can't be happier if you go and live your life and you know how to manifest it by yourself, and you don't need me for that. So they finished with me, everything worked out. Thank God they got married.
Mhm.
And then one day there is a voice, and I listened to my internal guides. Call her. I called her, and she said, "You know what? I'm grateful to you. I'm in the doctor office. I'm 7 months pregnant."
Oh, that's awesome.
Nothing could make me happier than listening to that. So it's not me, it's them healing themselves, but the results are profound, and yeah,
I love
very,
that. That's
very,
absolutely amazing. And I just love to the perception around that, that we're healing ourselves. It's just that you're the guide for that and opening people up to new possibilities to see life through a different perspective and lens, and that we don't have to necessarily change our external world when our internal world is changing, and that our external world will end up mirroring what our internal world is experiencing. So I absolutely love that. And one thing I would love to hear, because just going back to kind of what you were saying before, when we can see that the world is actually working for us, and that even things that don't seem like they were great at the time and maybe really, really challenging, when we are healing, we can see how they were put into our life to help us grow. But for someone who maybe is listening to this and is stuck in kind of that victim mentality, like, why does this always happen to me? And they're in this like pattern of things always, quote, happening to them. How can we start to change from a mentality of feeling like the world is against us to start feeling like the world is actually working for us?
so I love your question. I think it's a great question because I myself is someone that grew up in a Middle Eastern family with the victim mentality. Why me? Why me? Why me? And I remember the first person that helped me with that was Tony Robbins. I remember going to his seminar many years ago. It was in at USC, and the first thing he said that the way you shift your mindset is by shifting your physical state of mind and changing from being a victim to a winner. It's a second. It's that fast. You can do it just by changing your breath even. And I believe in the box breathing, breathing in for, holding the breath for 4, releasing for, again, holding it for, in for, even that, or changing your body, it helps a lot. For me, I have a routine and I do it every single day. And I also really ask my people to do the same thing. It's a routine, and consistency is the key to helping you to become a winner, because winnership, if it's a world event, comes from our mindset. Being a winner, it's a mindset. It's an idea that you have in a mindset, because a winner is different for everyone. For someone a winner might be being a mom, for someone else being having a flourishing business, for someone else it means winner, I'm a gardener, a florist, I'm a banker, I'm a lawyer. A winner is different for each one of us. And I think something that you pointed out is our mirror. So if we wake up in the morning and we remember that the other person is a reflection of me, and they are a beautiful way to see how am I doing. So if someone come in front of me and they're loving and they're accepting, it's a sign for me that at the moment I am loving and accepting. If someone is angry and hard on me, it's a sign I am angry and hard on myself. So we can shift it in a second by making the decision, by having the intention that who am I today? Who am I? What I want from my life? What do I want? A lot of us don't have vision for our lives. I remember when I started doing I used to have paint nights events because I was so excited. Because I knew that I can help people to seeing them and doing this paint night. And I will be able to say and do whatever I want and affect people through painting. So I had very exciting paint nights. Some of them were 150 people, some of them 45 people. And I knew that I have this leadership in me, but I loved painting so much. So I took the painting and I just used my leadership abilities to affect people, to change them, to giving them all these ideas about how you change yourself. And it comes by making a decision every single morning when we're waking up, how I want my day to look like, how I want to shape my day. So I started 15, or it's more than that, but 15 years ago, my meditation practice. So every morning when I wake up, first thing that I do is I do a meditation. It doesn't matter how you do your meditation. No one cares. It's for you only. You can do 3 minutes, you can do 20 minutes, you can do 1 hour. Just doing that, it's matter, because by doing that, you rewiring your subconscious mind.
Mhm.
You are calm, and in this moment, you actually can manifest by visualizing whatever you want. It's a different podcast. It doesn't matter. But I have to tell you, it changed my life.
Mhm.
I did not think that I'm gonna be 50 and alive, because the way I was raised was very challenging. I did not feel that I'm gonna be survived to be 50 years old, because my mindset was not good. I had a mindset of a loser. I no one believed in me. I growing up, I got the messages that I will be nobody. I will never succeed. No one gonna want me. So on a daily basis, I until age 35, I thought no one is coming. No one cares about me. Nothing gonna happen. And I think when my daughter was 4 years old, after her birthday, that I was so people pleasing. I made a birthday for 5 years old or 4 years old like it's her wedding. I was working on her cupcakes and her cakes. I even baked four layers ice cream cake, huge for
Oh my
60 people.
gosh.
I don't know what I was thinking, but I was trying to ask people to love me through baking, through the
Mhm.
food. And if someone is listening right now and they can relate, it's because I did not feel good enough. I was afraid that people are gonna leave me. So I was people pleasing. I always did too much for everyone to so they love me. I couldn't be real or authentic because I cared more about other people than myself. And then the day I learned that me being real, I'm attracting real people. So it starts with the intention when we wake up, the meditation. Then I used to do the morning pages. If you learn it's a book. It's Cameron. What's her name? Julia Cameron. Her book, The Artist Way.
Mhm.
So I started doing the morning pages. They release a lot of baggage. Those writing, the 3 pages writing, if you can do it, gonna help you to release a lot of baggage. Breathing helps a lot. I make sure I organize my bed every morning. I think a routine is very helpful. I do the prayer. I ask my higher power to step in into my day and help me to operate for my higher self and let go of my obsession, let go of my anxiety, worry, and bring in me as my higher self without the baggage. I make sure I work out every day, almost every day, 5 days a week at least, doing breath work while I'm there, meditating while I'm there if I didn't have the time to do before. Um, what else? Did I answer your question?
Yeah, no, absolutely. That was great. And thank you for sharing your routine because I think it's good to hear these things and for anyone who's listening, like take what's working for you and don't feel like you have to implement all of them, but just try one, see how you feel afterwards. And I love that. And when you talk about the morning intention, that's such a big one because a lot of people operate their day by judging it off of what their past has been. So if yesterday was a bad day, a lot of people will be like, okay, here we go again. But when you set that intention, you're actually training your brain to see more of what you desire in life rather than just getting whatever it wants. And there's actually like, it's like a science and spirituality. There's definitely a spiritual part to that, but like the science part of it is like the reticular activating system, which is literally your brain's filter. So when you set an intention, it's going to filter out everything that doesn't have to do with that intention. So if you want to see goodness and peace in the day, then it's going to start finding that in your day. And so that's the amazing part about our minds, our brains, our ability. And I just love that. There's so much power behind that. And it's those little daily habits that make all the difference in anchoring yourself into a place. And when you're talking about setting up that perfect birthday party for your daughter, it's so relatable. I mean, I think a lot of us, in some way, maybe it's not the people pleasing, but maybe it's the perfectionism, or maybe it's just staying busy or achievement, whatever it is, we attach our worth to something outside of ourselves. And that is so fleeting. It's so dependent on someone else for you to find some inner peace. And I love that there's that big transition that you experienced where you discovered your own inner peace without things happening externally that maybe would create that for a minute or two. So I absolutely love it. And thank you for sharing that because I think it's just so profound.
Absolutely. And I'm going to add, if I'm something very
Yeah.
important. We are still in January. I
Mhm.
think it's very important. The energy of January is the energy of renew. It's number one. So it's important to think about our visions for our this 2024. 2024, it's a year of eight. As someone who did numerology for many years, I want to say it because it's very powerful. We went through 2023, that was a year of reflection, year of spirituality. If we didn't step into our spiritual being, the change, the emotional change, 2024, it's a year of abundance.
Mhm.
If we rewire our mindset that this year it's going to be the year that we're going to go step above our challenges and actually do and be and have everything that we always wanted. Doesn't, as small as it can be, it might be you having a bit better relationship with your husband or with your kids or with others or even with yourself. It starts with yourself, loving yourself more, saying no more often, thinking first, do you want to do it or you don't want to do it? Writing your song, painting your paintings, launching your business, even your podcast. I am in the midst of launching my podcast. So this helping me to see how beautiful it can be. Doesn't matter what. Having your vision mean you having a direction. And when you have direction, your guides, higher powers step in and helps you to do whatever you need to do to get into the place. So set the intention. Also, something else that's very important that I often mention in all my talks is 2018. I started doing that. Watch your words. Your subconscious mind listen to everything you're saying. If you're saying it's hard, it's gonna be hard. If you're saying it is easy and effortless, I bet you everything gonna be easy and effortless. So use your words to manifest abundance, beauty, happiness. And it's not a woo woo woo, it's happening. If you ask people that actually practicing it, you're gonna see the results. I am someone that you can, it's living it every single day. Even my daughters, that in the beginning in 2008, when I told them, listen, we in this home we're using only positive wording, they were resenting it. But now they, everything they're saying is positive years later, because it's a practice, but it's possible. The word that I use instead of negativity, it's challenging. And
Mhm.
challenging can be amazing. Challenging is in between re-entering the route to where we want to be, challenging. So
I
yeah.
love that. That's so key there, and it is such a practice, and it's something I live and breathe too, and I've seen the difference, and it's something you always have to be aware of too, I think, because you can get into patterns sometimes where you go back to what you used to do. So it's something to constantly cultivate and grow, and I love that you've made that in your home, and I've done the same thing too. My son, who's 4, he'll say, "I can't," and I'll be like, "No, you're gonna learn until you figure it out," like, so now he's, like, starting to be like, stop saying can't, because once you do that, you shut your subconscious mind off from finding out any kind of solution of what you're trying to do. So there's such a power to that. And, the subconscious mind, you can't say enough about it. That it's literally dictating and running your life. And what we think is our conscious mind, which is only really 5% of it. So unless we're going to dive into the subconscious mind, it's really tough to kind of cultivate any change within our life. So I love the power that you show in the subconscious mind and how you can really cultivate that. As far as moving into a direction with our emotions and starting to really uncover some of the emotions, if for someone who's maybe has just like suppressed them, put them to the side, ignored them, and that's been their routine for maybe their entire life, how do you start to recognize some of those things that have been just pushed down for so long, especially if you grew up in an environment that was supporting that in a way? How do you start to bring those up so that you can feel like you can process the emotions in a safe environment?
I think for the people who don't want to go and seek outside help, one of the things that's going to be very helpful it's writing down your feelings. And I really think this is the beginning. This was the beginning for even for me, because as a very young girl I had all these journals without anyone even telling me about journaling. And I think journaling is the key to taking out all these emotions if you cannot talk about them,
Mhm.
because a lot of people don't go to therapy, they don't seek outside help, they try to solve it themselves like I did in the beginning. For me it was so unbearable that I was actually afraid to do something to myself, to hurt myself, so that I started going to therapy. But a lot of people don't want to seek outside help. Start by writing down. Writing down somehow bring connect us to a higher power, connect us to outside something in us. It's like we take out the garbage, take out the baggage. And if you don't want anyone to read it, just burn it. I tell my client, just stay in front of the sink, take or burn it, and just put some water on it so you don't burn your whole house. This is the beginning. And even recording yourself and listening to yourself, making sure that we're not staying in the same pattern, because this is one of the signs that you have baggage. If you're rehearsing the same story again and again and again, you're creating it in your energy, creating it in your body. That's why I think another thing that's gonna be very helpful, I balance my chakras every single day. And if you don't know what is chakras, they are basically wheels of energy that run along the spine, and they are each corresponding to specific physical, emotional, spiritual attributes. Those seven chakras are each represent unique aspect of our being. So they are like swirling vortex that receive, transform, and distribute energy throughout our bodies. There are seven on. They're sitting on our spine. If one of them is not balanced energetically, we feel like we are not safe. We are not worth that. We feel too much. We can't sit down. They are also related to the four four elements: the air, the water, earth, and fire. Every single morning when I wake up, I try to balance these areas because I'm not perfect. Our recovery, our healing, it's not linear. Everything, every day something happens. So if you can learn how to balance them, if not, you can contact me. I can help you to teach you how to balance them. I often balance them for my pupil, because sometimes one of them is off and you feel like I'm unwanted all the time. No matter where you go, what relationship you find, you sabotage yourself and the relationship because you don't believe that you're worth it, or you procrastinate. These are signs that something is stagnated, it's not working. So I recommend, if you are needing to start healing, asking your guides, asking higher power to come in and help you. Maybe you don't believe in God, but those guides, those higher powers, are the world is somehow we are all divinely guided by a force that is bigger than us. There is energy to whatever we're doing. If the energy is not flowing freely, it's stuck somewhere. So for me, I even have a sage in my room, and sometimes, some days when I need that, I say to myself to clear the energy, and I ask my client to do themselves. Another thing that beside journaling, clearing your element, balancing your element, your chakras, the sage, it's also drinking water. When you drink water, you bring new energy. Breathing helps a lot with changing. A lot of time when I'm in meetings and we change the subject, I even take my hand with my energy and I cleared and we move to a new subject to clear the energy from the different vortex, from the different energy. What something else that I highly recommend if you don't know about that, and I can't believe we didn't touch it until now, it's forgiveness, the forgiveness process.
Mhm.
It's the key to changing ourselves and our lives. Forgiving. A lot of times, this I'm so happy we didn't forget about it, and I often express this highly in my practice. Forgiveness gonna help you to step to the next level.
Mm.
The process, it's not easy. I even give my I'm in the midst of creating this digital course when I have all this information, new habits, and forgiveness has, I think, even two modules, two lessons that I'm talking in the modules about them. Forgive yourself and forgive others, because if you knew better, if they knew better, they will do that. I even created prayers that's going to help people to clear the baggage. I have meditation about how you release it. And I often, if you don't know about it, use the Ho'oponopono meditation. It's a Hawaiian practice that I help people to cut the cord between me and the other person, because we think it's someone else, but with our energy, with our intentions, with our thoughts, we attract these people. So when we take 100% responsibility for everything that happened to us in our lives, we step into being a winner. The second I accept 100% responsibility for whatever happening right now in my life, this is another way of stepping from being a victim to a winner. I am becoming a winner. It means I no longer ask, why me? Why it's happening to me? Why did it happen? I'm finding a way to understand. Sometimes we don't even need the understanding. We need to forgive the other person. I'm gonna give you an example. I have a lot of time. I sit in somewhere and someone does something that it doesn't look okay to me. It's crossing my boundaries, but it's near me. I just witnessed it. Right away, I take my hand, I touch my heart. Sometimes I have 100 people around me. It's okay too. I close my eyes. I see the other person in my mind eye. I imagine them doing whatever they do. And then I say, please forgive me. I forgive you too. If I need, I say, I love you. Thank you. If I know the person, I say, I love you. Thank you. Please forgive me. I forgive you too. I love you. Thank you. These four words save my life, because I do it as often as I need. Sometimes my daughter will say something I don't like. I don't want to harbor the resentment. I don't want to create more baggage. This is how when my client clear their baggage, I give them to do this meditation every single day until they no longer need to do it. And then they go and do it as needed, because we can create baggage on a daily basis. When I have my client clearing their anger, resentment, hurt, shame and guilt, sadness, whatever limiting beliefs they have, whatever trauma they have, the next day, I remember even when I did it, a car was driving fast and they cut my car, and I felt so much anger. And I called my professor and I said, someone got me. I feel angry. How is it possible? I clear my anger. We are living being. As long as we're alive, we're gonna have more baggage, so we can clear it. And this is gonna be easier after we clear the big baggage, because the small one, if you go through your day and you just clear it by forgiving, you're not gonna accumulate it in the bank of memory as a trauma. As fast as we process it and we don't hold it as a grudge, we will be able to just go through it and let it go faster and dissolve it without creating as a traumatic event in our subconscious mind.
Mhm.
We're gonna give the okay, we're gonna take it out, and then we don't need to create more back. And then we release it easy and effortlessly to the world as a form of energy that was flowing into our body and out our body, in and out easily, without keeping it like a I can't. My resentment. My resentment is not good for me because the other person moved on and forget. Now people thinking, but then it's gonna be sign that was okay what they did to me. Even people that went through rape, molestation,
Mm.
physical harms, when they forgive, they help themselves to heal themselves.
Mm.
It doesn't mean they forgot. It means they learned the lesson.
Mhm.
The lesson often is how amazing, how powerful they are, how the birthright is to live themselves, to love themselves and live a full life because they deserve it.
Mm. I love that, and I just love how you share, forgiveness as more of a gift to ourself, and it can be a challenging thing. I think a lot of times people hold on to it because it's like a protective thing. They're trying to protect themselves. If I don't forgive, I'll remember this forever, hold on to it, and then I can protect myself from anything like this happening again. But we don't realize the trauma that we're putting ourselves through by doing that. And what we're really holding ourselves back from is our highest potential and what we're here to do when we're holding on to that anger or whatever feelings that we have. And just as you're speaking, you're talking about releasing the big baggage. It's like, when you think about it in a physical sense, you're going through the airport, if you have all these bags, like how much effort that takes to carry all those bags through that. But as you release them, it just gets easier. And when you say that you can accumulate baggage throughout your life, but if it's a small bag and then that becomes easier to release, it's like not so draining on you when you only have to take care of that. So I love that, and just how that you describe it's a lifelong process, and but you get better at it as you go.
I
So
love how you brought the visual
Mhm.
of the baggage in the airport, a visual of the bag that we carry with us. I remember my professor bringing to our actually classroom his huge black bag with all this baggage, and he used to demonstrate to us how it feels when you walk for years with this black bag with so much baggage. And if you were imagining that there are potatoes in it, after a few days, this potato is going to stink and smell bad. So maybe it will be helpful if we look at that like a physical baggage. How much baggage can you carry? And this baggage, I forgot to mention, a lot of time manifests as physical ailments. If
Mhm.
you are going through physical ailments and there is no cure, you might not need the surgery or the pills or the numbing creams. It's your emotions that are blocking you, and as a result of holding this baggage for so many years, resentment can become cancer. All these unresolved issues, toxic relationships, you years of harboring all this pain and suffering might manifest as ailments. People go and do back surgery, lower back. It's I'm not feeling safe.
Mhm.
All every time I go through a pain, if it's my right side of the brain, I know it's my emotional pain.
Mhm.
When it's left, I know it's my finances. It's physical. I'm afraid of something that is physical. It's my finances. Often mine is right side because let's say in the last few days I was developing my digital course, and there was a fear because everything I'm processing and I'm building a new thing. My physical pain was in my shoulder, fear of responsibility for all these people that I'm going to have to educate. I touched the pain. First of all, I did a hoponopono on myself, forgiving myself for being afraid, forgiving myself for all these limiting beliefs that I'm not good enough. I go back to it too. Touching the pain, talking to it, and saying, please forgive me for all these limiting beliefs, not believing in myself. I forgive you too. I love you. I release you now. Thank you. After a few minutes, the pain resolves. There's so many incidents, I can't even tell you. The people come to me, I touch them, and the pain got relief because I talk to the pain in the language of the pain. And you can do it yourself. And
Mhm.
the pain just evaporates. I don't need to go to chiropractor. I don't need to go take pain medication. Usually because I am very, very, I'm wired this way, even for my childhood. I have to watch my food. I have to watch my words, my thoughts. And I can't harbor any pain, I mean, resentment or anger or hurt right away. I write it down. I burn it. I sage myself. I do the Ho'oponopono. I don't wait anymore because life is short.
Mhm.
And I most days I joke around, I laugh, my energy is easy. I used to be very heavy.
Mhm.
My girls, before I released my baggage, used to walk away. They used to stand far away from me. Now they get closer to me. We hug, we kiss. They relate to me because kids feel our baggage. People that don't have baggage, they feel people's baggage. Sometimes when you cannot attract your soulmate, it's because people feel your baggage. And then people come and do the release of mental and emotional baggage. All of a sudden, easy today, new people come into our life. Because when we let go of the baggage, we create an arena, we create a space for the light to shine in, to new energy to come in, and new people come, new events, new beautiful stories. You will have new happy stories. Of course, life happens, things gonna come throughout your life, but it's gonna be less charged with this heavy baggage. After you let it go, a new life gonna start. It's like a new chapter, and I can't describe it, but I can just give you example.
I
So
love
I
that.
hope you're gonna be able to this beautiful process because it's life changing.
Mhm, absolutely. And it's just the integration, like you talk about the mind and the body. I mean, you can't separate those. And like I've experienced that in my life. I had chronic back pain for years and did all the things, external, but wasn't until I started processing a lot of healing myself that that started to release. So absolutely true. And things are so integrated. And I feel like this is like something we could talk about all day. And I want to, I would love to do like we need to do a second one of these because it was so good. But for someone who wanted to connect with you and learn more about how they can release their own emotional baggage, where can they find you?
So they can find me on my name is Tammy Machmali, so TammyMachmali on my website, it's tammymachmali.com, or they can find me on my Instagram, same name, Tammy Machmali. I have a YouTube video with tons of free resources, videos that you can watch and see some clips of how to heal yourself. Um, I'm basically on these platforms until soon. I'm going to have my digital course that's called Baggage Begun, 6 proven ways to release your mental and emotional baggage. And I'm going to have my podcast soon. I can't wait to um, chat with people about more about that.
I love that. And I'll put everything in the show notes. So if you're listening to this, definitely connect with Tammy. You are absolutely amazing, such an inspiration, and just took so much from everything you shared today. And I really like the message here is like hope and empowerment. Like there's so much we're capable of. And if we can just start processing some of the things that are holding us down and really dive into the root causes of what we're experiencing, what we see on the outside is not necessarily what needs to be addressed. It's really the emotions that are causing some of these things. And I just love everything you shared and just so enlightened by how much of an impact that it makes on our lives. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Kelly. I'm honored to be here with you. I love you and I really love what you're doing. It's very empowering. I just want to finish with a note that if if you are struggling, if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling like life is not working, please pray for it. Believe in yourself because God can help in a second, like a blink of an eye. And this is what's happened with me. It was one book that came from my shelf down one night when I was very desperate and I didn't know if I want to live one more day. And this book was the beginning for the change in me. So don't give up. If you feel like you can't move on, pray. There is a higher power that's gonna come and hold your hand and bring you all the guides that you need to make the change for you. You are special, you matter, and thank you for everyone that is listening right now.
Thank you for that. It's so beautiful and it's so true. And then just start looking for those things that are signs of help. And I love that. Absolutely. And again, thank you for everything you shared today. It's been such an honor to have you on.
Thank you, Kelly, and I can't wait to chat with you soon. Thank you.
Yes, me too. Thank you so much. And again, for everyone who's listening, please share this episode, especially if you know someone who could really benefit from it. This is something that is so impactful in so many people's lives. So please share it and subscribe to the channel.